Welcome everyone to this Imperial Media podcast. Today we're going to interview sirskitles, who is the architect in the Empire roleplay game.
Yo,
Uh,
yo!
yeah, hello there. So during this podcast we're going to ask you some questions about your life, your history, your developing history and HRE. So, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. So let's begin with the first question. First, can you tell us a bit about your background and how you got started with Roblox development?
Yeah, for sure. I originally started out, so I found Roblox just scrolling through YouTube one day. I might have been 2016 or something, so I was like a young preteen. And I was looking on like how to build games and stuff, and that's sort of how I came across Roblox because I was just looking to make games and stuff. Then I really got into like this whole studio development stuff, and then I found Blender through Roblox, like watching tutorials and stuff, and then really heavily got into 3D modeling from that point. So then I started branching out, learning a whole bunch of different skills, like mostly within the 3D modeling range, like rendering, VFX, graphic design, all of that sort of stuff. And then that brings us basically to today, where yeah, I'm just making models for a whole bunch of different games, including Holy Roman Empire. And yeah, it's been a pretty good experience.
All right. Uh, so, was it easy, or it was a hard path to become such a good developer like you?
Now, I don't like to toot my own horn or anything. I found it actually quite easy, and I do like a little bit of a challenge. When I get really stuck on a model or like I don't know how to do something, I really strive to like figure out what is the best way to make model or make this specific model. What is the lowest triangle count that I can get it to without it looking like garbage? So I love challenges, but personally, when starting out, I didn't find it too difficult to learn or anything. I definitely didn't start out like the best modeler or anything. Like I was still pretty mediocre at modeling, but like as I progressed and kept making more models and more models, I kept getting better, learning more stuff about the program. But no, I definitely wouldn't say that I found it like overly difficult, to be honest.
Okay, well, for some of the people that start with the developing, they might think that it's all hard and they just think it's very hard, and some of them just give up.
Yeah. So to that, I would say that it's just about passion, to be honest. Like if you really want to learn something, if you are really that interested in like learning how to do a certain skill and very passionate, like I was about modeling, you sort of just do it out of instinct. Like you sort of just want to get up and start making cool stuff on Blender or Roblox and want to make like the best thing possible. So if you just have like that sort of passion there and just don't give up, like if you just keep trying, like keep making the same models over and over again, slowly but surely, you'll just get better and better and better.
All right. Well, we know that you currently work for HRE and you work on our revamp, but what are the other games that you have worked on?
Yeah, so I've worked on quite a few games, to be honest, on and off Roblox. So I think my own personal projects, I've worked on a couple of them at the moment. One that's released at the moment is called Tropical Royale. It's sort of like a take on the Roblox Fortnite sort of genre that was really big a few years back. I had released it. It's been my only project that I've released so far, and it did pretty well. It got a few million visits, couple 10,000 ish likes, and definitely some decent revenue being generated. And it was only a duo project as well. We didn't really have like a sizable dev team or anything. We were also in the works of doing something with Please Donate as well, probably like the largest contribution that I've made. So Please Donate is by Hasm. I think it has averages around 20-ish thousand CCU concurrent players. So that was probably the biggest project I've worked on. Also have an Idiotic Investing revamp that's coming out. So Idiotic Investing, it's like a Jackbox game that's on Roblox. I'm currently working on the revamp for that. It has a couple hundred players average, so it's doing pretty well, to be honest.
Oh,
There's also like a couple. Oh, sorry. You go.
you really worked on idiotic investing?
Yeah. So Mulius, the developer behind that game, he's actually like one of my close friends. Me and him, we work alongside each other, and we make games together.
Wow. I really enjoyed idiotic investing with my friends. It was nice. Uh,
Yeah, we're
i-
currently working on a revamp for it, so it's going to be in 3D. So that's where I come in. I mostly do like visuals and modeling and stuff. So yeah, it's currently working on a 3D version of that game.
oh, that's great. I would love to see the revamp out of that game. Are there any other games you have worked on?
Oh,
Or is that all?
mostly smaller projects, showcases mostly as well. Nothing notable that I can think of off the top of my head, but those were probably the biggest ones to be honest, or the like at least the best ones that are worth mentioning.
Alright. And did you have like any game that you are the owner of? Like it was your idea and you made it? Or you
Yeah,
on okay. Okay.
yeah. So, oh, sorry, you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Okay, so yeah, so Tropical Real was my game, which I had initially released with Mulius, my friend. It was a duo project. Me and him worked on it for, I think, a solid year and a half or something like that. That game did pretty successful for my very first project that I released completely on my own, well, with Mulius, of course. I think on release, it peaked at around 1,100 players, so definitely not a terrible release to start off with. Over time, though, we got a little bit demotivated and stopped working on the project. But at the moment, the game sits at roughly a few million visits, 20,000 favorites, and 10,000 likes. So I would say that it did pretty well for our first launch of a game.
Oh, that's nice. And can you tell us, maybe give us some advices on how to uh, have your game successful, how to advertise it correctly and how to make it so people will actually play it.
Yeah, so ironically enough, I would say one of my biggest flaws with my first initial release is like the whole advertising size of it. So we mostly relied on just like advertising through external sources like YouTube, Twitter, and all of that stuff. We never really focused on like getting the game organically promoted through the Roblox algorithm. So it ended up slowly dying off because obviously we had the initial peak, like the initial release, and then it's like slowly died down after the hype and stuff was away. So if I'm gonna give some advice, I would say that really focus on like getting your player retention and stuff down, having a good solid idea that's replayable, gets players coming back, and definitely don't just rely on external growth like from shout outs or Twitter promotion or Discords or anything like that. We just want to have like a solid stable game, look at your analytics, make sure there's some organic growth happening in your game or it's just not going to be successful. At the end of the day, Roblox's goal is to just make the most money possible. So if your game is getting good player retention, good money, good resources for Roblox, then they're just going to promote it. That's sort of just how it works.
Alright, and do you think it's worth to spend Robux on like the advertisement in the website itself?
No, I disagree. I don't think it's worth it at all. Unless maybe initially it might be worth dropping like a little bit of Robux on advertising. But if it's like, your very first game and you're really relying to make that money back, I would say probably don't do it, to be honest. If you just have like a good game, as I said earlier, it's just going to get organically promoted either way. So advertising might give it a first initial push, but it's definitely not going to maintain.
All right. Thank for the. Bro, I can't speak. Jeez.
Okay,
Thank you
okay.
for the advices that you gave us, and we could move on the next question now. So, were there any particular games or developers that influenced your work? Like maybe showed you how to do stuff, teached you, or you may be inspired. They inspired you.
Oh, yes, most certainly. I have a couple really good inspirations. So originally, back when I first started working on like my first Roblox game, which was Tropical, I was pretty heavily inspired by Strucid, made by Phoenix Signs, which is I think the dominator for the Roblox Fortnite niche. Also, pretty recently as well, Rivals just came out, a new hit piece FPS game, which is absolutely phenomenal. Me and my friends have been playing it together a lot, and I just love how the game runs, like how the style, it's super low poly and stuff. And even though it's not a complicated style, it's still really satisfying to play with. And yeah, that's definitely something that I really want to strive for in future projects.
All right. And how do you stay motivated and inspired to keep creating? Like you have been working in Roblox for so long, like you said. So
Yeah.
how are you still motivated to do so?
Yeah, so it's sort of a tricky question to answer because motivation for everyone works a little bit differently. But I would say just in general, I think the best way to stay motivated consistently is to just maintain good mental health, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Obviously, sounds pretty cliche, but it does actually work. There's a reason why a lot of people say it. Good sleep, hydration, good foods, that sort of stuff, and then being active and not sitting at home all day, that sort of stuff will eventually snowball into better mental health, more consistent motivation. And yeah, basically in all aspects of life, including development, school, uni, etc., everything, it'll just go so much more smoothly and you'll just be naturally more motivated to do stuff.
All right. So, during your developing history, have you had a time where you were just sitting at home and you had to finish your project because, for example, of the deadline, and you had to, for example, do the all-nighter or something like that?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Back in the early stages of when I started out developing with my friend, there was quite a lot of all-nighters, and probably were times that were not most appropriate, like during schools and exams and stuff. But yeah, we were just that passionate. We got a lot of work done. We were very satisfied with our progress, and we just wanted to keep going because if we kept the pace up and the momentum up, we could get our projects finished a lot quicker. And especially if there's like tight deadlines or something, especially in the initial release of my first game, there was a lot of issues, a lot of anti-cheat bugs and stuff that really needed to be fixed, a lot of skins and updates and stuff that we needed to do to the game, a lot of bugs and even the visual side of things that need to be fixed. So yeah, spent most of my days, especially on the first release of my game, just patching up and fixing all of the little things. And yeah, definitely had a couple all-nighters in my days.
All right. And what's the most rewarding part of being a Roblox developer?
Definitely just looking back at your work and seeing like where you started versus what you've accomplished now, just looking at like how far you've come. It's very, very rewarding. I sometimes even go back to like my very first projects and just look at how god awful they are and then compare them to what I've done recently. And it's just like, wow, I made this. This looks really cool, to be honest. And I obviously like sharing my work and stuff and getting positive reinforcement, but also getting some criticism as well. Sometimes when you just get some like harsh criticism from like someone that's pretty experienced in like the 3D modeling realm, it can be pretty rewarding to, just agree with some of their takes and take that on board and make the next model even better.
Yeah, the feedback is really important. That's for
Feedback is
sure.
definitely important. Yeah, if you're surrounded by like a bunch of yes men and you never get like any actual criticism, like you'll just be stuck in an endless loop and you'll never improve.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, now I'm going to ask you some questions about the HRE because probably that's the reason why most of the people are watching us right now. So,
Yep.
can you tell me how is the progress on the HRE revamp going?
Yeah, so at the moment, on terms of like my sort of stuff, like the modeling side, the entire visuals, everything is 100% completed. So everything that I had to do in terms of modeling has been completed. All of the assets, the housing models that surround the map itself is completely finished. It's just up to Caleb and the scripter to just program everything in and release it, which I assume is going to take some time because Holy Roman Empire, from my knowledge, at least from my understanding, is quite a complex game. There's a lot of stuff and areas that need to be worked on. But yeah, 100% completed from my end, at least.
Alright, that's great. And yeah, we know that from your side everything is done, but not from the coder side. So, another question, do you have contact with the coders and what's the current progress on their part?
Okay, so yeah, I do have contact with the programmer, but in terms of like actual progress that's being made on the revamp, I only know of a few certain things that are probably staying in the game versus, I don't know, getting removed, I suppose. I'm not sure if I'm able to talk about some of that stuff because I know that a lot of it was meant to be kept secret for when it releases, but I don't really have a rough gauge on the progress of the revamp, though. In terms of the programming side, it's completely mystery to me.
Alright, alright. Then is there anything you can currently leak to us from the revamp? Like maybe some special screenshot you haven't sent in the development channel yet, or maybe you could just tell us something that we don't know.
Sure. Okay, I can go through my files and maybe see if there's something that I potentially haven't shared, like a screenshot or something, if that's what you're after. But in terms of like the map and stuff, so yeah, I don't think a lot of people know this, but the map is actually going to be ever so slightly smaller than what the current one is on one axis. So I think it's actually slightly wider than the current map, but it's a little bit thinner as well. So, because it's more of a like organic island shape, not really like the current map is, which is just a square. So it's more island and organic, and there's beaches and stuff as well. So a little bit more immersive, you could say, since you're actually on like an actual island instead of like a square. But in terms of, I think you guys have seen like all of the promotions and stuff, right? Like the map itself. I'm pretty sure you've seen this.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll just send the screenshot in. I'm not sure if I've actually leaked this or not. If I haven't, then there's a leak, but okay, it's taking me a little bit to upload because it's quite a big file.
All right.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's uploading at the moment. Give it a second. My internet is crazy slow, dude. I have no idea what's going on with it.
It's fine. It's fine. We can wait. We can wait.
Yeah, it's all good. But it would have been so anticlimactic if I've already leaked this, but I don't think I have. I don't know. I have my doubts though, to be honest. I have leaked a lot of stuff that's in this folder. I'm not sure.
You actually did leak it already.
Oh, okay, yeah, but that is the island that I'm talking about, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the fact that there's a lot of stuff on it. Like in the current HRE map, there's like a lot of places that there's nothing, just trees, and or no trees at all. And on this map, you have a lot of villages, castles, other buildings, and a lot of trees, which is nice.
Yeah, I can actually just go in the game. This isn't actually the most recent row render of the map, by the way, this top-down view. So there's actually a slightly more updated one, which has some like empty gaps filled in at like the top right and stuff. I'll just go into the game. I'll see if there's anything that I know 100% that I haven't shown. Because I think Caleb has pretty much given me the green light in terms of like everything visual to basically go ahead and show to you guys.
Okay. Yeah, it would be nice
I was
if
just
you could show us something more. Because people are really hyped for the revamp, because we have been waiting for so long.
yeah, I can definitely
2 years.
understand that, to be honest. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, to be honest, like, pictures do not do this map justice. I think it'd just be a lot better to actually go ahead and explore. I think, like, yeah, most of this stuff I think has already been seen to an extent. Everything's taking, like, forever to load in. But yeah, like, I know something for sure, though, that depending on the areas that you're in, the lighting, the dynamics of the game actually change in real time. So depending on which area you're in, certain lighting effects and stuff will happen to make it a little bit more immersive. I think, for example, when you go into the caves, they become a lot darker and a lot loomier. It really just adds to the immersion, to be honest. It's something that I add on my own with my very mediocre scripting knowledge.
Oh, that's really nice. I like it. Probably it will
Yes.
be great. Hopefully,
Yeah,
we will see the revamp as soon as possible. Maybe in this year.
Yeah. Yeah, not sure if there's anything real specific that I can show. I guess you guys will just have to wait for the revamp. It will be pretty good, though. I have a feeling that maybe Caleb will request some final changes and stuff. Maybe just something just a little bit nicer, a little bit more polished on certain aspects. But yeah, you guys will wait and see. I feel like it'll be great when it does happen, to be honest.
All right.
Oh.
So yeah, we have to wait for the actual release to see a little bit more. But a lot of people are asking me about it, and I know it's not really your thing. But do you know anything about the current state of the HRE bot, and when is it coming back?
Okay. Yes, I get asked that question quite a lot. But yeah, that is definitely like Caleb's thing. I think I can just double check real quick. I think I may have mentioned it to him a couple times.
Yeah, like people
Okay,
currently are
yeah.
really pissed about the bot not working, and it's been
Yeah,
like
so
3 weeks or more.
yeah. I mentioned it to Caleb, I think, what is this, almost a month ago. So I said to him, yo, the Holy Roman Empire bot is down. Apparently it stores people's data. Can you restore it? And yeah, he replied to me saying it goes on and off, like it goes offline and offline quite often, and there's nothing he can really do about it. So he'll ask the bot people to try and reboot it later. So maybe he's still trying to reach them or something. I can always like contact him and get confirmation, but it seems to be like it's a separate guy that's maybe not on the team, someone that I'm not aware of that has all the bot code and stuff. But hopefully, when the revamp comes out, like it'll be less bot dependent. I'm pretty sure as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
not sure what strings Caleb's gonna pull to do that, but yeah, it's something to look forward to definitely.
yeah, that would be great because currently we HRE Knights can't ban people because we can only ban with the bot, you know. So
That
basically,
is crazy.
people can break all the rules and we can't do anything about it because all we can do is just to kick them, and that's all.
That is insane. Yeah, okay. I definitely see the importance of the bot. It does kind of suck that like literally the entire game is reliant on this freaking Discord bot. To me, that makes absolutely no sense. It's the stupidest system in the world, but yeah, I have no doubt that Caleb is going to get that fixed as soon as the revamp comes out.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, and now let's move to the another question, which is: will people with lower end devices, like mobile, see performance issues after the revamp? Because as we know, there's a lot of stuff in this new map. So, and people
Yes.
currently even have problems with the FPS and frames in general.
Yes. Yeah, I've explained this a couple different times. I'll explain it again though, because a lot more people will probably see it and hear it. So basically, the difference between the current map in terms of performance and the old map is that the old map is using like a lot of parts and a lot of meshes that are separate. There's a lot of unnecessary geometry that is being rendered on people's devices, which is making the game obviously get lower FPS. If there's more geometry, that's bad frame rate. So this map is less geometry. Even though it looks more detailed visually, there's actually less stuff being rendered on the screen. So I've just made sure to be a little bit more mindful of the amount of detail, like the amount of geometry I'm actually putting into my models, and using stuff like textures to be a little bit more performant. So it is, and there's also other stuff as well that causes some frame rate issues, like within the scripting itself. Since the game is quite old, there is a lot of like really questionable scripting methods being used. So that is also causing frame rate issues as well. And since the game is being revamped, there's new, fresh scripts that have been updated and a new, fresh map that isn't going to be laggy like crazy. Yeah, it's going to be guaranteed pretty much 100% more performant, at least from my end. Unless Mad messes something up, then that's not on me. But at least from my side, everything is 100% more performant.
All right, that's great because yeah, the current state of the game is not the best, I would
Yeah,
say.
I've played it personally. Like I get like less than 40 FPS, and I have a pretty mediocre PC. When I play the revamp, at least without any scripts, of course, I can at least get like 200 FPS on max graphics. And I have no doubt as well that Mad will go the extra mile to make sure that there are even more graphic settings in the game. You can disable shadows, turn down the render distance and stuff in game. So he's probably going to add more details on top of what's already being added to make sure that pretty much everyone can run the game.
Yeah. For example, me, I have a really good laptop, I would say, and I can't have more than 60 FPS in the game, even though the Roblox allowed you to have more FPS without FPS unlocker.
Yeah, it is probably mostly the scripts, to be honest. I would say that even though the map is like terrible performance, at least currently, the scripts I think absolutely suck. I took a look inside the game's source code, and even though I'm a modeler, I don't technically script. I can see that this it's terrible. Like this is not very performant at all.
Yeah, and we had so many developers in the game already. They added so many useless stuff. And for example, our first coder back in the day, when Do you know Viking Law?
I do. I have heard of that name, Viking Law, a couple
Yeah,
times.
yeah. So there was a developer called DevKurka, and he was working with Viking Law, and his code was the first code basically, and it was really bad. And the people tried to fix it, but I think it didn't really work out. Like people in the current Caleb's team say that this code is basically a dog shit, and it has to be rewritten, all of the stuff.
Yes, I 100% agree with that statement. At least from what I've seen in terms of the scripting thing, it looks like it was coded by a blind person. Like, to be honest, it is like the formatting and stuff is all messed up. The like all of the way that things are like called and stuff, like instances of code, is just absolutely terrible. It's like, how does someone even come up with this? It's like if they added a while true loop to try and do a tween. It's crazy. But yeah, that's another problem as well. The multiple people have probably touched the code, and it's like, think about it like this: have the same like try and write a book, but with multiple authors. It just doesn't work out. Like everyone's trying to write the script, but you just don't get to read the previous author's page. You just gotta like just add on. It's like gonna be a complete mess. It's gonna be all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and that's all the questions about HRE. But maybe if you want to tell our viewers something more about the HRE, then it's you can do it now.
Yeah, sure. So I have high hopes for the revamp. To be honest, I know that Caleb is and stuff and his team are working on getting the revamp done. They don't think it'll perform so great, but I actually have pretty high hopes for it, especially since it's probably the only project that I've worked on that is like pretty much from the base plate to scratch completely. So yeah. A fun fact about the revamp, by the way, it was made in 45 days. I was tasked to get the game completely finished from ground one to completely finished within 45-day timeline, which I at first thought was impossible, but I had to cut a lot of corners to get there, obviously. So certain aspects I think I could have done a lot better if I just had a little bit more time. But yeah, there may be a few issues with like some quality insurance stuff with the initial release, but if Caleb gets me back on afterwards to work on Holy Roman Empire, I can assure you that I can fix those initial problems up, if there are any, of course. Or if there's some feedback or anything, I can always take that on board as well.
So they gave you like a deadline,
Yes.
that you have to do it as fast as possible.
Yes. Well, not as fast as possible. They just gave me 45 days, which is not a lot, by the way. To make basically an entire game is not a lot of time. So basically, almost like making noticeable changes every single day, pretty much.
Well, I think I kinda understand Caleb because he promised the revamp so long ago, and people are basically pissed that they still have to wait, and so I understand that he wants to do it as quick as possible.
Yeah, it makes sense in hindsight, except it's sort of not really how the development process works. Sure, you can have deadlines with large teams and have multiple people assigned to do different things, but one person working on the same game, consistently for 45 days and expecting a good result is a little bit unreasonable, to be honest. I can see why he did it, though. I don't bash him for it because there was a few things outside of his control. But I essentially just had to speedrun everything. Like, I get it done literally as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's understandable. But hopefully, maybe after the revamp, you will be still working on the game and you could improve the stuff that didn't really
Yeah.
work out
It
like
is,
you planned.
it is completely Caleb's call, though. I definitely, if there was a few things that I wanted to revamp, I think the house models definitely would be my first pick. I was also making custom textures to start off with. I was going to make everything completely custom from scratch. The idea was it wouldn't even look like Roblox at the end, but obviously I had to put that on hold to actually get the project done within the deadline. So yeah, wasn't able to do that. I did get a couple things finished though, which was nice.
So
But yeah.
you didn't use any models or textures from the old game.
No, nothing. It's all completely from scratch. I think maybe there would have been like one or two models, like a hay bale stack or something that I might have copy and pasted over. But other than that, I think it's some from memory at least, most of it is completely refurbished.
The funny thing about the Hable is that it's basically a photo of grass, but yellow.
Yup, that is literally what it is.
Alright, I just got a question from one of our viewers, and I thought it might be nice to ask you about it, even though you probably don't know much about it, but still, let's do it. So, do you maybe know if the Kingdom of France duchies are getting removed?
Oh, the kingdom of the kingdom of France,
Yeah,
the location.
no, like the duchies of the Kingdom of France, like the divisions, you know?
Oh yes, no, I have absolutely no idea. I think it's called KOF or something. I think for short,
Yeah, KOF.
KOF.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So specific instructions from Caleb was to put that location specifically on hold. So it is there currently in the map, but it is on hold. There's literally just a border around it. There's nothing inside. So it is Caleb's call what he does with it. I mean, he has the map, he has all the files and stuff, so it's his call, whatever he wants to do with it. But it is there. I have no idea what he plans on doing with it, though.
Alright. We'll see then. We'll see. Uh, Alright, now let's move to the other questions. No longer HRE questions, just some question about your thoughts about developing, etc. So yeah, what do you think about Roblox Studio as a tool to create games?
I have a very hot take about this one. A lot of people would beg to differ on this, but in terms of the direction that Roblox Studio is taking, I do like it. I do like the ideas they have, but as a tool, compared to what else I've used, it's absolutely garbage. I do not like it at all. So initially it was great because it was very easy to use. I was like, oh, what, a 13-year-old kid. I had absolutely no experience with game development, so it was pretty easy to pick up. But as I had got a little bit more experience and a little bit more confident, I tried other game engines like Unity and Unreal Engine, and they just blew Roblox out the water in almost every aspect. Everything was just a million times more efficient. I could wasn't limited by Roblox's cloud servers or anything like that. It was pretty relieving, to be honest. But to get started, at least, if you're really interested in game development, I think Roblox is an okay tool. I mean, it's there. It does its job, I guess. A good advantage about Studio, Roblox Studio, compared to every other game engine, is that it does most of the heavy lifting for you. Roblox gives you servers for free, mobile, console, and PC support, completely cross-platform for entirely free. All you have to do is like program it in and stuff. And you can publish and make money off of your games for literally nothing. So they are pretty generous with what they offer. So I think if you're really into making games, it's definitely a good place to start, but it's definitely not the best tool out there.
Yeah, so basically, new fresh developers could start their career like in a Roblox studio, and maybe then move on to the other game engines.
Yes, I definitely think in terms of like if you're a small team or like just an indie developer or stuff, Roblox Studio is a pretty good option to be honest because you can go from 0 players to 10,000 and make crazy money off of Roblox if you like put your mind to it and stuff. So if we're looking in the monetary aspect, it's probably the best way to, I suppose, make money off of game development since, you know, it's completely organic and you don't have to invest in marketing and investors and all of this other stuff that, you know, big AAA titles do. So if you're looking at it purely monetary, it's a very good option, a very efficient way to make a lots of bank quickly.
Alright. By the way, have you ever worked on a game outside of Roblox?
Yes, very small indie games though, nothing crazy, like nothing notable worth mentioning to be honest. Mostly just like contribute, like commission based stuff, nothing like super insane.
Alright, alright. Then let's move on to another question. What
Sure.
are some of the biggest challenges you've faced while developing on Roblox Studio?
Where do I start? Okay. Biggest challenges is definitely the engine limitations. So I don't know how many of you guys are super familiar with Roblox Studio, but essentially, I think there is a 25,000 poly count limit for Roblox, which is it's actually pretty decent to be honest. It's not like it's pretty high in retrospect. Probably shouldn't ever go over that limit to be honest for like an asset. But the texture compression, so all images are compressed down to 1024 triangles, pixels by 1024 pixels, which is very small texture resolution. It's literally like PS2 days is when you were seeing these sort of graphics, okay? It's like, wow, could not offer any sort of like room there. So that's definitely the biggest challenge that I face is working around that texture compression, but also the terrain itself, like the Roblox terrain tool, is extremely limited. It is very, very basic. I would love for Roblox to add some sort of like masking in the future where you can stick like alpha maps on brushes and actually extrude out like all of the different terrain stuff that they already have, and they definitely have the capability of doing it. It's not like they don't. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. But yeah, the terrain and the texture compression have been the two biggest challenges that I face using Roblox Studio, to be honest.
All right, and when we were talking about the challenges, someone in the chat asked, did you ever feel burnout?
Oh yes, multiple times. In all aspects, to be honest, not even in just development. So I think my first, like most memorable burnout is when we first initially released, me and Mew released the Tropical Real, my first project. Basically from there, we were working on the game non-stop, 24/7. Like there wasn't a minute in the day that we weren't spending on Tropical, like getting out all of the, because there was a lot of cheaters. It's a first-person shooter game. It's like Fortnite, so lots of cheating would happen. And basically, whilst I was working on updates, Mew and his friend were working on like the anti-cheat stuff. We were constantly banning hackers, constantly trying to find loopholes and stuff around the Roblox engine to actually implement the damn anti-cheat. So it's probably the first time I've experienced burnout. A couple other instances as well, probably off Roblox, is like just with video editing and YouTube and stuff. It's a big grind, and trying to do that while maintaining school and development all at once is, yeah, super difficult.
Yeah, that must have been hard for sure, bro. I couldn't imagine working on the same thing all day, and you didn't even have at least some of the free time, like few hours.
Nope, not a moment to myself sometimes. But no, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it, to be honest. And I would say that I definitely love enjoy like working on Roblox, making videos and editing and stuff. And yeah, pays off big time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like if you didn't like it, you probably wouldn't do it in the first place. All right.
For sure.
Let's move on to the next question. We already talked about it, but how important is community feedback in your development process?
Yeah, I'll elaborate a little bit more. I would say that's probably the single-handedly most important thing about developing, to be honest. I mean, depending on the projects, mostly, if it's like a practice, like if you're purposely trying to get better, it can be very, very helpful. Especially if you like know connections, you have connections around the industry, especially. You can get in touch with some pretty big people that look at your work and give feedback. And yeah, if they really like your stuff, it's a potential to get hired in future companies in terms of the 3D artist aspect. So yeah, I would say it's definitely the most important thing. And you're getting around, you're making friends, connections, and stuff like that, which is very, very important.
Okay, and while we're talking about the feedback, have you got like any warm words in the HRE from our community?
Awards?
Showed your progress in the development channel, like some wise words, some nice words, like people just telling some nice stuff about your.
Oh yeah, lots of compliments. I think I think the most notable criticism I got was actually from the previous builder that was on the project. So yeah, he was working on the Holy Roman Empire before I was, and his stuff was actually pretty good, to be honest. I had a look at some of his stuff, and it was quite nice. Like the quite detailed, quite thorough. And I actually talked to him a bit behind the scenes, and yeah, he was actually pretty down to earth, dude. He gave me a lot of feedback and a lot of criticism on like my stuff. Obviously, due to like time constraints and stuff, I wasn't able to implement everything. But if I was to like redo it and do it again, I'd definitely take some of it on board.
All right. We can move on to the next question now.
Yep, just give me like 1 second. I'll be back.
All right, we can wait. By the way, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the Imperial Media channel. And by the way, in the description there's a link to donate me, so it would be nice if you guys could donate, maybe.
I'm back.
All right, great. So another question: what's your favorite game on Roblox that you didn't create
That I didn't
or
create.
didn't work on?
Technically, I didn't work on this game. I quite like Bed Wars. Bed Wars is my go-to, and Rivals. Those are my two games that I probably play unironically on Roblox, especially when Bed Wars first released. It was quite fun. Rivals, I play unironically purely because out of enjoyment. It is a very fun game.
Yeah, I've seen on your YouTube channel that you make videos out of Bed Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Basically,
a lot
any game,
of these
PvP
videos.
related, shooter related, anything like that, I quite enjoy, to be honest.
Ah, have you played maybe Bed Wars on Minecraft? You know?
Yes, I have. That is how. That is where I started out playing Bed Wars. I started playing Bed Wars, Minecraft Bed Wars. I was quite good at that, I would say, to be honest. You know, a couple thousand stars. You know, not too bad, not too bad, not too great. But yeah, I started out playing Minecraft Bed Wars before Roblox Bed Wars, and that's probably how I was able to pretty easily make content on the game, to be honest, because I already knew the ropes.
Yeah. And currently, what do you think is better, the Roblox Bed Wars or Minecraft Bed Wars?
I think in terms of every single aspect, I think Roblox Bed Wars outpaces Minecraft Bed Wars by like a million trillion times. In terms of yeah, Roblox Bed Wars, I think just the game itself, since it is built on Roblox, there's a little bit more flexibility than on Minecraft. Like Minecraft's a pretty interesting place to make a game mode like that, but Roblox has way more content. There's a lot more stuff. It updates every single week. Like Hypixel Bed Wars never updates at all.
Yeah.
So having like kits and classes and creative mode and all of that stuff is very, very enjoyable. It is. I played Bed Wars a lot longer, like on Roblox, than I ever did with Minecraft.
Yeah.
And
for
I will say
example-
this as well: it's also free. You don't have to pay any money.
That makes sense. Also, I like the Roblox Bed Wars, but I don't like, the. I just enjoy it more on Minecraft because I don't know, maybe it's kind of easier for me, like in the first person, and with the.
Yeah, it's
crouching.
preference. I mean, it was definitely hard to get used to Roblox Bed Wars at first,
Yeah,
since
yeah.
like all of the skill-based mechanics were basically just thrown out the window. Like PvP is just clicking with a sword, and so is bridging. You can just god bridge in Roblox Bed Wars compared to Minecraft. So, yeah, makes
Yeah.
it a little bit more kid-friendly, I suppose.
At first, when I played Roblox Bed Wars, I just couldn't bridge. Like I was just falling off because I just couldn't get used to it.
Yeah, that's so good. It's preference, really.
All right, and now let's move on to the last question of this podcast, which is: can you share a funny or memorable story from your development journey?
Yes, I have quite a few. My most memorable was with Mulius, my friend Mew. So you were getting some ideas on for the map for Tropical Royale, which is the game we made together. My first release game again, and I think okay, it's kind of funny, kind of. I mean, I don't know. Some people say it's not funny, but yeah, we kind of we were playing the game. Obviously, we were versing each other, and it during our game, it turned into a bit of a rap battle. We were sort of just insulting each other and trying to make rhymes out of absolutely everything. I think at one point I was literally just screaming at him absolute nonsense. It wasn't really a rap battle; it was also a one-sided argument that I had with him. But yeah, it was quite funny to be honest. My most memorable, there is I think one time he killed me in the game and like I was just going absolutely crazy, can't even understand a single thing I was saying. He clipped it. I'll see if I can find the clip somewhere, but he clipped it and it's literally just like if I turned into Eminem for one day, it would be this. Like,
Yeah, it would be great if we could see the clip.
okay, I'm not sure if it's PG though.
It's fine, it's fine.
I'll see if I can find it. Okay, okay. Be interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go back in time, basically, try and find this stupid clip, dude. Alright, where is it? He sure would have posted it somewhere in the server, I reckon. I remember when it happened. It was he clipped it and it started showing it everywhere. It was so funny. Okay, okay. Surely, okay, is this it? No, where is it? Come on. Had to be somewhere, dude. Did he post it in this server? I have no idea. Okay, I'll keep looking just for a little bit. If I can't find it, it's gonna be so unfortunate though if I can't find it. Hang on, hang on.
It would be sad. But in that time, while you're looking for the clip, I've seen that you have 50,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. And maybe could you tell us something about your journey on the YouTube itself? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I started making YouTube pretty much the same time I started developing. Sort of was like just both things I found enjoyable. Well, there's quite a lot to say about it, to be honest. Not really sure where to get started. My stepdad convinced me to start doing YouTube. He was like, he really got me into it. It's like, you can make a lot of money just by, making videos on, the games that you literally play for free. That's like, wow, really? That sounds kind of cool. So it got me into like YouTube stuff. I started learning a lot more about video editing and stuff. Really enjoyed that. Was quite similar to how like my modeling process went. I just found it really enjoyable and just kept learning every time I made a new video. Started doing really well, picking up some traction around when I started playing Bed Wars on Roblox. Semi-recently peaked again, and at the moment it's probably my second biggest source of income, which helps me pretty much pay off my house deposit that I'm saving for at the moment.
Wow. You really got that much money from YouTube?
From YouTube, yeah, it's pretty insane how much money you can make just off of, making a couple videos, making some games. It is really nice, to be honest. It's nice to have the cash.
Yeah, that's crazy. And by the way, I see that your game Tropical Royal has currently 0 players and no one plays it. And are you maybe planning on to, going back to this game and s continue to, uh, update it and advertise it so people
Yeah,
will play
potentially
it
in the
again?
future. Yeah, as I said earlier, I definitely want to focus on like more organic growth. The game had a pretty good advertising, as one would say, with a bunch of like traction on social media and stuff. Hazem was pretty into it as well. He joined in and got a lot of hype around the game when it initially released. So it had a very explosive release. Like it blew up pretty much instantly, but then we weren't able to maintain it because there was a lot of flaws with the game we needed to fix up. So yeah, maybe in the future we might.
Alright, alright.
I cannot find the clip, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. I don't have it saved.
Sad. We would love to see the clip, but alright. We're going to end this podcast now, as I have asked all of the questions I wanted to ask you. So, thank
Alright,
you
perfect.
everyone for watching, and thank you, sirskitles, for coming to this podcast.
Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Empire Roleplay Media